Hi, I'm Kim Linder, the host of the Caregiver Hour radio show. It's on every Monday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon on 1250 a.m. WHNZ. Today's segment was about when is the right time for someone to consider moving into retirement living. And we had a special segment called Ask an Expert with Margot Cooke from the Allegro. So hi, Margot.
Hi, Kim.
It was a great show. So Margot, why don't we answer that question? When is the right time for someone to move into retirement living?
Probably the answer would be now. You need to really be considering moving to a retirement community before you have to. And when I say have to, a lot of people wait for that. If they had that crystal ball, I think I talked about that earlier, if you knew exactly when the perfect time was, not too soon and not too late, that's what we look for. But as we know, life isn't perfect. And so you want to start, you want to be prepared to make that move before you have to, which means you want to start early and taking a look at different options. You want to kind of know where you want to go so that you can start making the steps necessary to go ahead and make the move.
But let's talk about maybe some of the benefits of moving into retirement living versus staying at home from the person who's moving in, but also from the perspective of the caregiver.
Well, you know, retirement these days is so much better than it's really ever been. I mean, everyone has a lot of options, and I'm sure that a lot of people have already started to tap into some of those options, getting support through home health agencies and with cooking and cleaning and yard work. But at some point, that's just not enough. Whether you need that support on an ongoing basis, people don't show up for shifts. I mean, when you start needing it a little bit more, you definitely want to get serious about making that move. But the biggest thing is that no matter how many people you hire to come into the home, the more you stay in your home, the more isolated you get. And what we see from seniors that make that choice is that that isolation leads to increased health issues because they're not eating properly, they're not getting mentally and emotionally stimulated enough, they're not moving around as much as they, you know, in their home they have their point A, point B, and that's all they do.
Not that active.
Right, so, you know, they feel like they're being independent because they're at home, but they're really not independent. They become much more independent when they come to a community where they can be out and about as much as they want to. No one's going to require them to do it, but it does give them options. Retirement communities are about giving people control back over their lives and keeping them independent and, you know, giving them those choices.
And what about the caregiver? How are they supposed to, what is the benefit for them of their parent or parents moving into retirement living?
Well, the benefit is you don't get the call in the middle of the night saying, you know, I've fallen, or when you're at work and you get a panicked call saying the caregiver didn't show up, or you know, something like that, something left on a stove, or any number of panic calls. And even if you don't get the call, you sit there and worry. I guess what it boils down to is peace of mind for both the caregiver and the senior, because the caregiver knows that everything's taken care of and now I can get back to being the child again. And so the struggle in that relationship, that role reversal, becomes less because the parent becomes in control again. And you can really enjoy being together. And you let the experts do what they're good at doing. So we have the experience. I tell families all the time. You're trying to do a job that we have 3 shifts of people that are doing 24 hours a day. And we've all had the experience both professionally and through schooling to get that job done. So, you know, that's really, really reassuring.
Well, thank you very much. You've been an expert, I have to tell you that. But also you've been very reassuring because the show is about creating balance for the caregiver and taking care of their loved one, but also taking care of themselves. And I'm thinking retirement living, at least go and look and see, at least creating an option for a caregiver to make a wise and best decision.
Absolutely.
Well, you can tune in to the Caregiver Hour every Monday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on 1250 a.m. WHNZ.